Hello, and greetings from Washington. Thank you to the Chickasaw Nation for hosting this workshop. And thank you to the Chickasaw Nation for hosting me personally during my visit to Oklahoma just last month. I had the privilege to meet with Governor Anoa Tubby and other tribal officials to discuss ways to expand digital opportunity in Indian country. I'm especially pleased that we have been able to follow up on those talks so quickly with this workshop. Over the next 2 days, you'll have the opportunity to hear from and engage with expert FCC staff regarding broadband deployment and other communications issues of interest to Native communities. We've sent members of our team to Oklahoma not just to talk, but to listen. We want to learn about your experiences, which help inform our policymaking efforts. The good news is we're not starting from scratch. Since becoming chairman, I've visited several reservations and tribal lands and have gotten a first-hand look at issues surrounding broadband in Indian country. In addition to these visits, I've consulted with tribal leaders at events across the country and at FCC headquarters here in Washington. I understand and appreciate the significant successes and challenges that many tribes have had in building and operating their own networks. I also know that there is more work to be done and that the FCC has a role to play. The Commission has already acted to support and expand the deployment of broadband infrastructure and services on tribal lands. And we're considering more steps in the future, some of which you'll hear about today. Some examples include creating a tribal earmark in the Mobility Fund Phase 2 auction, and proposals to increase access to and use of spectrum over rural tribal lands. Last year, I also renewed the Native Nations Communications Task Force. This advisory group is comprised of tribal members and senior FCC staff who are working together to help the Commission better understand and address the unique challenges of increasing deployment and adoption of communications services on tribal lands. The task force held its second in-person meeting here yesterday, and I look forward to receiving their first report in the near future. I've often said that bridging the digital divide is my #1 priority. Nowhere is that divide greater than on tribal lands. I hope the next 2 days will help foster a relationship that will enable continued progress towards meeting our shared goals of making sure Indian country is well positioned to benefit from the digital revolution. Thank you and have a great workshop.